Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to a very special Tuesday night edition of the Real Chat Daddy Show. I am your host, Chat Daddy, and tonight our show is only 1 hour long because we're talking about the race to the White House 2020. Tonight is the first of three presidential debates between the Republican candidate for president of the United States, as you guys all know, Donald J. Trump, and the Democratic candidate for the race to the White House, Joseph R. Biden Jr. At 8 p.m. Central Standard Time is when we will all go to our televisions, digital media platforms, and we'll watch the first of three debates. Tonight's debate is coming to us from Cleveland, Ohio. And so tonight, during this hour that we're on the air, we're going to talk about the debate this evening. We're going to talk about both candidates. We're going to encourage you and your family to make sure you get out the vote. November 3rd is election day, and it is very critical that we do cast our vote and let our voices be heard. Right now, we're living amidst a global pandemic. Unemployment is at an all-time high. The economy is struggling. People are steady dying from coronavirus. I think today globally we've reached over 1 million people that have passed away from this virus. So tonight we just want to inform you to pay close attention tonight to the first presidential debate for the run to the White House. So my co-host tonight is someone who you guys are very familiar with. K Renee has been here with us many times before. She's the creator of Karen's Nuggets. And so tonight, K Renee and I will talk to you about everything you need to know about voting. Where should you go if you've not registered to vote? Whatever it is that you need to do, we're here to talk about that, as well as some other little tidbits you need to know about. Why would one even want to run for the presidency? There are a lot of great perks that come with being the president of the United States, and we'll tell you about that as well too. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the show. Our good friend and the birthday girl last week, whose internet happened to go out, and baby, she must have let her internet provider have it because she popped back up before the show was over. Ladies and gentlemen, the one and only Miss K Renee. Hey,
Hi,
darling.
Art. How are you? Thanks as always for
I'm good,
having me.
sweetheart. It's a
You said,
pleasure, darling. You look great.
thank you. Thank you. As something is different. We have something in
Yes.
common tonight.
Yes, I noticed you have on your eyeglasses this evening, and
I
last week you were
did.
talking about, how you're such a contact wearer when Dr. Ansel Johnson was on. And
Absolutely.
so, look, you must have some serious things we need to talk about because you have on the Barbara Wawa glasses tonight.
Yes. Yes.
You're channeling your Barbara Walters tonight. So,
I
yes.
most certainly am, because voting and talking about the election is very important. So I need to be serious. I have my serious look on. So again, thank you so much for having me tonight.
Oh, it is a pleasure always to have you here. And I was telling the audience that tonight is a very special 1 hour show because we do want everybody to tune in to the first of three presidential debates. Tonight's debate is coming from Cleveland and K Renee. So now there's no handshaking tonight. There's no
Nope.
what are all the rules? Like they can't kiss tonight. They can't do any of those things, huh?
Well, even if they did, I don't think they would want to, but there is no handshaking, there is no opening statement. There is a limited amount of individuals that will be in the audience, and they're going to get right to it. In fact, President Trump has won the toss, if you will. So he will be asked the first question by moderator and journalist, well-respected journalist, Chris Wallace. So it shall be very interesting knowing his style. This may be something that he is ready for, because I truly believe he is going to go after Vice President Biden with
Oh
everything
yeah.
everything he can. And I think that what should be interesting for all the viewers tonight and people who are going to watch the debate, just really listen. We have discernment. God gives us discernment, and when a person is not being honest. The one thing that in listening to the talk shows and the news shows today about this debate, the one thing that Vice President Biden has said, I'm going to tell the truth. And that's what,
Mhm.
at the end of the day, that's what the viewer and the American person is going to have to really settle with. Are which one of these candidates is speaking truth? That's it.
You're absolutely right, because this race is interesting to say. We see just problems, issues, you name it. And Joe Biden has had his reputation and history as well too. But we've got to move this country forward. Who knew a global pandemic? Who knew unemployment at a rate like this? Who knew crime, in cities would not be a epidemic? So we got to do the right person in the office as president of the United States. Now more than ever, we need for people to express their rights to vote.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. I couldn't
Well
agree
then,
with you more.
Okay, well then let's start off with our daily COVID-19 update. Illinois Department of Public Health today reported 1,362 newly diagnosed cases of coronavirus. Unfortunately, we had 23 additional deaths. This now brings our state total to 291 in one cases, 200,001 known cases, and our death toll now is 8,637. And you were saying to me, worldwide, 1 million people have died from this?
Yes, 1 million. We've had the cases worldwide is 33.5 million, but unfortunately we have lost 1 million souls to this virus. And that is, that's one of the topics that will be discussed in the debate that both Vice President Biden and President Trump will have to address about this COVID-19 pandemic.
You're absolutely right about that. And then let's not even get into our current president not wanting to release his tax statements.
Oh, goodness.
And I was watching a special last night on ABC News late night, and they were just talking about, Barbara Walters actually questioned Donald Trump many years ago about his finances and how he was doing business. And then I remember when he opened the Taj Mahal in Atlantic City. I was my aunt who loves Atlantic City. We were one of the few people there for the grand opening celebrations of, well, no, there's millions of people there, but people of color at the grand opening of the Taj Mahal. So just interesting in many, many different ways. All right. So for those of you all that are still traveling about, the city of Chicago has now added the following places to the no list of where you guys cannot travel. Kentucky, Wyoming, Texas, and Nevada have all now been put back on the quarantine list. If you travel to and from those places, you are asked to remain quarantined for 14 days. And so I know a lot of people who are out in Las Vegas right now. Last night we just had a guest on the show. She was in Austin, Texas last night. So I mean, we just never know. And this list now has 23 states and territories included on the list. And what do you think about that, K Renee? Because then I hear that our governor, J.B. Pritzker, is now in a 14-day quarantine as well too.
He is. One of his members tested positive for COVID. Is one of his members of his close circle. So he has to be quarantined now. He's in isolation for 14 days. Again, this is no joke. I've said this motto: either you're going to mask it or casket. One of two.
Yeah. Right.
Or casket. I mean, it's not that hard. I know, ladies and gents, it is just, I don't like wearing a mask, but I don't like the alternative. So what harm is it to wear to wear a mask?
Right.
It's not that hard.
No,
and like Chad Daddy, he gets colorful with it. It's part of his wardrobe.
Yes.
Cute.
Yes, they have to match. Put the
Put the
mask
mask
on.
on, or stay, or what we say here, that, or stay your
Keep
ass at home.
stay your ass at home. Right. Just it's that
Gotta go.
easy. It's that simple. It does not cost you anything. If you don't feel well, as I said on the show last night, all you have to do is pick up the telephone, call your employer, and this is how you sound. Hello. Yeah. I don't think and I guarantee you, they'll tell you to take the day off. I
That's
guarantee you.
right.
Yeah, I guarantee
That's,
you. If you, I
that's
don't care
right.
who you are, I don't care if you've had perfect attendance, whatever the case may be, call your employer and say, hello. I don't think and they'll be like, you know what? Stay your ass at home. So, right. So, here are the rules again. Wear your
Right.
mask. Please wear
Wear
your
your
mask.
mask. That's right.
Wear your mask.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we're a huge advocate around here of sanitize.
My hand
Please
sanitizer is another
sanitize.
room. Or
That's
wash
okay.
your hands.
I got you. I got you. Stick your hand
Okay.
out. Here's some for you. All
Wash
right.
your hands.
Right. Wash your hands. We prefer you
Wash your
use
hands.
soap and water. Soap
That's
and
right.
water. Clean under those fingernails. Do all of
That's
that.
right.
Make sure your hands are germ free. Don't forget to social distance.
Distance. 6
Stand
feet.
back 6 feet. Get up off of me. You know, y'all have said that before. You done shopped at Moo and Oink. You know what to do. 6 feet.
That's right.
Get up off of me. That's what you have to do. And again,
Mm.
if you're not feeling well, keep your ass at home.
At home. That's right.
Easy, simple. Yep, easy, simple. All right. So as we continue on in the top news stories, so now K Renee, tonight our show is designed to talk to people about the importance of voting and getting the vote out for 2020. I'm going to let you go ahead and start the conversation of things that we need to know, and then I'll chime in on what you're giving feedback on. Go right ahead, dear.
Okay, as I said, for those who, especially in Illinois, now early voting has begun in a lot of counties and in the state, and I believe in Cook County it will begin October. I want to say October 1st or October 14th. So if you want to, you can mail in your ballot. You can go online to request a mail-in ballot, or you can, when you get your mail-in ballot, you can bring it in at the polling place to drop it off. And you have until really November 2nd to early vote. After that, then you would have to go to your required polling place on November 3rd. And I believe Art was going to have a website where you can go online at this moment to find out what do I need to do to vote. Provide a one-stop shop. It'll tell you where you can vote, where your polling place is, even with the census. I don't know if your readers know that the census deadline has been extended to October 5th. So if you want to you still have time to register and be counted for the census. That is very important. Not only you have to vote, but you want to be counted so we can get the federal funding for our communities here in the state of Illinois, especially in Chicago. So now more than ever, even though I typically go to my polling place, I will be doing that once I get the go ahead. My polling place is available. I will be there to vote, to early voting, because I just want to make sure that my vote is there. They see it, goes right in that box, and keep it moving. So
that's right. That's right. Okay. So we put across the bottom of the screen for those of you all that are in the state of Illinois, it's www.vote.org/state/Illinois/dot. And that'll be able to get you to where you need to go so that you are able to find out everything you need to know about where you should go vote, when it's time for you to early vote, all of that great stuff. And for those that need to register to vote, it's still time for you to register to vote. So we need all of you parents to take these 18-year-old young people out so they're able to go register to vote and do what's necessary. We got to get out here and do what's better. You know what I'm saying? And do what's right. So, all right, K Renee, what else we want to add to that?
Well, I mean, one of your readers just said you should go to the polling place, and I agree. You want to make sure that your vote counts because, as you know, our current president has put out there that there may be voting fraud, although it's been historically that has not happened. But we have too much at stake. As we've always talked in the show, we have had our ancestors who died for the right to vote. It is your birthright to vote. now more than ever, your vote does count. And I believe it, everybody votes in this election from all
Right.
across the country and territories. It's going to
Right.
be a different ball game.
Yes, it is. And hopefully a new day when this is
Yes.
all said and done. 2020 has
Yes.
been a beast of a year.
Yes,
With
it
just
has.
with the magnitude of deaths that we've had this year, the fact that we are living in a global pandemic,
Yes.
the civil unrest that we've seen this year is just insurmountable. So now more than ever, let's turn the page and go into 2021 with a new breath of fresh air, newness
Yeah.
of administration and everything. And again, not
Absolutely.
here to tell you all who to vote for. That's not what this
Right.
is about. This is
No.
about just a newness, a
Exactly.
wave and a movement to get people to do the right thing. So yes, okay,
Absolutely.
very good. All right. So
Absolutely.
let's talk about Cleveland tonight, K Renee.
Yes. Yes.
So go ahead, dear.
The debate is at Case Western University. Never heard really of that school. It's a university. And as we talked about at the top of the show, that the rules of engagement is going to be very different than previous debates. Again, no handshaking. There will be no opening statement. They're going to get right to it. President Trump has the first question to answer, and I'm pretty sure Chris Wallace is going to talk about the taxes. And then one thing that's interesting, as I mentioned earlier, are that Vice President Biden has already released his taxes. He paid over almost $300,000, whereas our current president has yet to disclose. Although the New York Times reported that he only paid $750 in 2016 and 2017, and interestingly enough, if he is reelected, he has some loans that are coming due to the tune of over $400 million.
That's what I heard.
Yes.
And see, K Renee, if nothing else, I want his accountants. I want to know which Rabinowitz that he goes to. I want to know which Lieberman he goes to, because anytime this man, who is considered a billionaire, and all he had to pay in taxes is $750. Well, honey, I consider myself a trillionaire, and I don't want to pay nothing but $300 on my taxes. How about that? Because I can't believe it.
Here's the thing, Art. He only paid for 2 years. I think the New York Times reported 11 of the 18 years, he didn't pay any taxes at all.
Right.
So there's got to be some accountability. When you are a leader, when you are the premier leader of the free world, you talk about accountability to others. That starts, charity. They say charity begins at home. Accountability begins at home. There has to be some accountability. So it'll be very interesting to see, as we are going to be viewing the debate, the subject on taxes, how he is going to address it. If he's going to deflect, or he's going to come be honest about it. We will see. But the topics of the debate, not only about his taxes, they're going to talk about, of course, the economy, both records of both he and Vice President Biden, the two records. Biden has been vice president for 8 years. We're going to talk about SCOTUS. As you know, we lost the notorious RBG. And interestingly enough, some of the Republicans have started putting out T-shirts of the notorious ABG, which is the nominee Ann Coney Barrett, which I think is in poor taste, but that's for another time.
Honey, you got to be kidding me. No,
I'm not kidding. There's some T-shirts going around calling her the notorious ABG. I thought that was in very poor taste.
I do too. Now if nominated, she will be the youngest Supreme Court justice. She still has school-age children in her home. She has a biracial family. She has 2 children that were adopted from Haiti, and her youngest son suffers with Down syndrome. And yes, her youngest son has Down syndrome, cute as he can be. And, so again, a lot of people are saying her time between motherhood and a Supreme Court judge. But that shouldn't play a factor. Women have been able to do what they've been able to do, and honey, with that salary of Supreme Court judge, honey, she can get some good nannies. So we're
Yes,
not
she
worried
can.
about that. She can get some really
Right.
good nannies. But she is replacing an iconic woman, a woman
Yes.
who really took a stand. Now this young lady is a staunch Catholic. And so,
Yes.
and she's said in her speeches and statements that, she's not going to let her religious views and values stand in her way and all of that. And that's not what you're supposed to do when you're in that type of position. So I can only imagine what the scuttlebutt will be with some of the decision making if she is nominated, and put in.
Well, she's a proponent. She loved Justice Antonin Scalia because she
Uh-huh.
clerked under him, and whatever he said, she did. So
Mm-hmm.
there's nothing wrong with her faith. I have no problem with her being a staunch Catholic. I want to make sure if she's really following the Constitution, that she truly follows the Constitution as it
Mm-hmm.
relates to different topics about healthcare, about abortion. That's what I'm concerned about. So it's going to be, again, very interesting during the confirmation hearings. Although, as we all know, the Republicans are trying to whistle her in, but Democrats saying not so fast.
Right.
We're gonna have our say. So that's another one of the topics that will be discussed tonight. Another, as you
Mm-hmm.
know, we talked about it at the top of the hour, COVID-19. The one thing that I'm pretty sure I would be remiss if Chris Wallace will not ask President Trump, you knew about this disease and you chose not to be transparent. That will
Mm-hmm.
be, to me, what will he say? Will he
Mm-hmm.
deflect again, as he's notorious for doing, or will he come correct and be
Mm-hmm.
honest?
Well,
Because
here
it's
here we have a Trump supporter, Jessica
okay.
Preezer, and we just all right, on this show we try to stay as neutral as we can.
Absolutely.
Yes, amen. And
Absolutely.
we do put your comments up there as long as you all are not swearing, cursing, and calling us,
That's
all
right.
of right. So, but okay,
That's right.
all right,
That's right.
yeah. Um,
So, and then of course we're going to talk about they're going to talk about the economy. The fact that the unemployment rate is 8.4% currently,
child.
and 18 million people are out of work,
Mm-hmm.
and over 30 million people have applied for unemployment benefits.
Mm-hmm.
So, President Trump has talked about what he plans on doing. Well, we haven't heard anything yet. So that I would be very interested to see what his plan is on getting Americans back to work. And then I think I mentioned to you, Disney is going to lay off 28,000 employees.
I saw that. Oh my God, 28,000
20
employees from there.
because of the pandemic.
And keep
You
in
know,
mind, Disney is the happiest place on
on
earth,
the planet.
on the planet, child.
On the
Disney
planet, not
did
not in Illinois, not in the
right,
United States, on the planet.
right. And
28,000. That's a lot of people.
right. Disney is the parent company of ABC Television. And
Exactly.
so all of this just makes me wonder, how will it trickle down? Because if you're getting rid of that many, and is that in the amusement side of the company, or is it
I
just
just said overall 28,000.
wow?
That's a
Right,
town. That's a suburb.
right,
People
right.
don't understand that. I mean, for people who are going to lose their jobs, that is just, it's devastating. So, I want to hear from him. What plan does he have to get people back to work safely? Because
Yes.
all these topics, as you know, they're interrelated, they're intertwined. You want to
Mm-hmm.
get people back to work, but they got to be safe to do it, because you can't have
Mm-hmm.
people, they got to practice social distancing, because if you get people back to work too quickly, they catch the virus. Guess what? You shut down America again.
They
So,
gone
so
like that, girl, gone.
again, I want to hear some facts and some numbers. You know what my background is, right? My background is
Mm-hmm.
audit compliance. I tell people,
Mm-hmm.
even though I'm originally from Illinois, I come from Missouri. You better show me what's going on. So,
Mm-hmm.
and then
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
also we're gonna be talking. They're gonna be talking about race and violence in the streets. As you know, about Breonna Taylor, um, and Aubrey, George Floyd. What is his plan to bring harmony to the country? I'm sure I shared with you the grand jury, the judge has voted for the Kentucky Attorney General Cameron to release those transcripts from the grand jury.
Right.
Interesting enough, one of the jurors, they didn't say the person's name, but one of the jurors suggested that this case may have been misrepresented by the Kentucky Attorney General.
Do you think? Hello, boo boo. Do you think? Right.
So the juror has his own lawyer speaking up for the juror, saying, we need to see some receipts. So the judge said, we want these transcripts released. So it's supposed to be released sometime this week. So, you know, Attorney General Cameron, well, maybe next time you will do some more research before you make a statement like that.
Right. Okay. All right. I'm with you. Hello. Yes.
Which is very, and then the final topic is the election, the integrity of the election. How we want to make sure that everyone has their birthright to vote and vote safely. So it should be every topic is supposed to be allotted 15 minutes apiece.
Right.
And so, you know, the thing that I'm interested to see is, we know how our current president operates. He likes to go hard. He takes it personal. And I'm hoping that Vice President Biden will not saying deflect, but just answer the question and keep it moving. Because I think at this point, we just need to be assured. We know Vice President's character. At least I would think everyone does know. We know about President Trump's character.
But
so
now,
it will be
not to cut you off, Renee, but you know President Trump is calling for Joe Biden to have a drug test. He believes Joe Biden is on something.
Well, guess what? I'm sure he would. Guess what? If you gonna put that out there, then take your own drug test. How about that? If you're gonna say, I want you to take a drug test, go ahead. Well, we're gonna do it together. We're gonna walk up there and take it together. Well, I'll have my mask on. You may not, but I'm gonna have my mask on when I take my drug test. How about that?
Yes. Elena made a very valid. I can't even talk right. Valid point. If you go to the grocery store to shop, then you can stand in line to vote. That's
my dolphin sister. Thank you, Elena. That's right.
Man, I love
That's
it.
Right.
That's right. You can absolutely right. Stand your ass 6 feet back, but cast that vote, baby, and do like you're supposed to do anyway. Go in there and wipe. Wipe everything. Right.
I was telling my little sister this morning, I said, if I have to get that chair that when we went to Ravinia to sit down, I'll take the chair with me.
Yep.
Sit my butt down, and if it's a long line, it doesn't matter.
That's right.
I will be there on the voting line, ready to vote.
Yep, because during this pandemic, we've had to stand in line at grocery stores. We've had to. So, I mean, you know, this is our new normal, but we also have got to take control of what has been a problem now for so long. So I just want us all to do the right things and do what's necessary. Here's a little tidbit, K Renee. Did you know that Donald J. Trump is the oldest president in United States history? He is actually at the age of 70. He was the oldest president. So he's actually older now. Ronald Reagan was 69 years old when he was sworn in. So Donald Trump would be the oldest president in United States history. And I guess if Uncle Joe gets in office, he
will be the oldest. Yes,
he will be the oldest president. Yes.
Right.
And then Donald Trump became the 5th president to win despite losing the popular vote in 2016. He joined the ranks of George W. Bush 2000. He didn't win until the U.S. Supreme Court ruled a Florida recount to be unconstitutional. Other people who got in and people were a myth was Benjamin Harris back in 1888, Rutherford B. Hayes back in 1876, and they both had unconventional ways of kind of getting into the White House. And John Quincy Adams, who in 1824 was elected the first president ever by the popular vote.
Interesting.
So Isn't that interesting? So who
Interesting.
knows? Right. Well, in this day and age, baby, we don't need to go with popular. We need to go with somebody that can figure out problems.
Exactly.
Popular don't always mean they're right. It means, so we'll see. We'll see how that all comes out.
Hmm.
All right. Well,
Absolutely.
for those of you all who are just joining us, welcome to a very special edition, a Tuesday night edition of the Real Chat Daddy Show. We're only going to be on for 1 hour tonight, from 7 to 8 p.m. because we're encouraging everyone to turn in. Girl, I told you I'm so sleepy I can't talk. The doctor put me on new medication, and the medication has had me just out of it all day long. But we want everyone to tune in to the first of 3 2020 presidential debates that will be happening tonight, coming to you live from Cleveland, Ohio. 8 p.m. Central Standard Time, 9 p.m. Eastern Time. It is very important that you guys tune into this debate tonight. Of course, it's between the two gentlemen who are running for office to be president of the United States. One of the gentlemen will be our current president, Donald J. Trump, and he is running against the Democratic candidate, who is Joseph R. Biden Jr. Did you know, Joseph, that Mr. Biden was a junior?
I did. And did you know what the initial R stands for? Robinette.
Oh, Robinette, really?
That's his middle name, Robinette. Yeah.
Oh, I can see him now, with a Harley motorcycle and a jacket. Talking about, come ride with the Robinette. I can see it. I can see it. I can see, I can see him on a motorcycle now. And then I was watching one of the gossip entertainment shows last night where first vice. Well, now what do we call Dr. Jill Biden? She was the vice president. What would be her title?
She was second lady. She was second lady.
Second lady. Yes. All the second ladies. Well, Dr. Jill Biden's first husband, of course, now is out talking about how he met her and how she left him and all of that. Child, go sit down somewhere. Go sit down. If you ain't brought all this up in all these years, honey, sit down, be quiet. In situations when it comes to the ex, I usually try to be as nice as I can, because you just never know what them exes might get into. The same way with me being your ex, you just never know who we might turn out to be.
I have an ex, Art, and
right.
God bless him. I wish him the best. But I'll tell you this: he stays on that other side of the country. I stay right here. As long as he leave me alone, I leave him alone. But the moment we cross paths, he act crazy.
Yes.
As I shared with you offline, when I went off the internet last week on my birthday, and I had a conversation with the Comcast Xfinity representative. I said, let me tell you something. I speak 5 languages. I speak English. I speak profanity. I speak sarcasm. I speak truth and love. However you going to come at me, I'm going to reciprocate it back to you. So as with my ex-husband, he can stay his side and I'll stay my side. And now
yes, absolutely. All right, so we just want to get everybody ready for 8 o'clock tonight. As we always said, get your popcorn, get your beverage, sit back, relax. The debate tonight will be 90 minutes long. It'll be 90 minutes long. It is moderated by veteran journalist Chris Wallace, and so we are very excited to see what will take place in this. So now keep in mind, President Trump was the first president in more than 60 years with no experience in serving in Congress or no governmental experience. The only other two were Dwight Eisenhower and Herbert Hoover. Yeah, Hoover.
Herbert Hoover.
Right, Hoover. Yeah, Hoover. He right. Neither one. And girl, look, right, and you can tell I wasn't around, huh?
That's interesting with Eisenhower, because he was a general. So at least even though he may not have had government experience, he was in the military. So everyone loved Eisenhower. In fact, my late father, that's what they used to call him, Ike, after Dwight Eisenhower.
Okay.
So, and Herbert Hoover, say that fast 10 times.
Right. Hoover. Right. Hoover. Say Herbert Huber 10 times. It comes out as Hoover. Yes, it does. Yeah, I'm sorry. Y'all know me. Right. And this new medicine, I'm like, baby,
I
I'm
got
glad.
you, Art. I got
Baby,
you.
right. If I nod off during the show, honey, just know it's the
I
new
got
medicine
you.
I'm on. Right. I'm like,
It's
oh my
okay.
God. Yes. All right. So K Renee, what else we got to talk about with tonight? I also have come up with some really fun facts about why would one
Yeah.
want to be the president. So
Yeah.
what else you want to bring up, and then we'll go into the fun
No,
facts.
I'm just really interested to see how the debate is going to flow. I'm hoping that, in listening to the pundits and listening to the talk shows early about this preparation for the debate, a lot of people are saying that as long as Vice President Joe Biden keeps his stance, speaks on the issues, assures the American public of what he's going to do, he will do fine. With that being said, with Donald J. Trump, he will definitely go. I believe he's going to be ruthless because that's who he is. It will be interesting to see how he will be able to relate if Chris Wallace, for instance, fact checks him in the middle of a question. If he says, "So, the taxes you only paid $750," can you talk about that?
Right.
See what he says about that. Will be the only way I think that may rattle him because he
Mm-hmm.
doesn't like to be rattled.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't. So if he's rattled by the facts, it's gonna be an interesting night. That's all I
Well,
got to say.
well, you know what I find so interesting is even during his campaign, once he became president of the United States, his motto is fake news, fake
Yeah.
news. And what I'm not understanding is no other president, no other, administrator have ever said, has attacked the media the way this gentleman has attacked the media. The New York Times has been a long-standing publication that I've been reading, and people honor the New York Times, much
Mhm.
like the LA Times, the Tribune.
Right.
Coming up as a little boy, my grandmother taught me that certain publications were of the conservative nature, of the
Right.
Republican nature, or the
Right.
white nature. I mean, I'll never forget her telling me, look, boy, if you're looking for a job, you go to the Tribune to look for a job. The Sun Times, okay, maybe, but the
Right.
Tribune is where, and so that's how I found my love of reading the Wall Street Journal, reading the New York
Exactly.
Times, because those were things that elevated your reading palette and literacy level of learning about world things. And for him to just continue to go around talking about fake news, fake media. Well, if you the president, you should have put a kibosh on fake news to begin with. You should be calling these media houses out. You need to be, he ain't said nothing about TMZ that does nothing but stalk people and cause trouble and talk smack.
He hasn't said anything about Fox News either. That's his favorite go-to
Right.
media junket. So
Yes.
I just think yes, there'll be a lot to discuss tomorrow,
Yes.
and I
Yes, it
think
will.
we everybody gonna be fact checking the moment he opens his mouth to say
Mm-hmm.
whatever. So I'm just kind of curious to see if he's gonna come out the gate being ruthless, or he's gonna let the tempo of the debate go. I just don't see that. I think he really wants to let his base know that I'm still the president, and I have all the upper hand. So it's going to be, as you said, get the popcorn, get some
Baby.
wine, and get
Baby.
ready.
Baby,
Get ready.
you might even need a little tequila, a shot of whiskey, or whatever, because tonight gonna be the first of three ring circus shows. And so
Mhm.
I can't wait to see who gonna end up being the ringmaster. Of course, the symbols for the Democrat and Republicans is the elephant and the donkey. And honey, right there, you got a full show. You got a full show. That's all I can say. You got a circus on your hands. And so for
Yes.
those of you that are tuning in with us tonight, we're only going to be on until 8 o'clock this evening, because we do want to encourage you all to watch the first of 3 of the presidential debates that will be taking place tonight. I'll give you the dates on the other debates towards the end of the show, but we want everybody to pay close attention to what is being said tonight. I'm sure social media will be all abuzz for those that cannot be near a TV or any device where you can see it. And tomorrow evening, when we come back, we're going going to do a full, complete wrap up of what happened tonight in the debate, and it will be taking place in Cleveland, Ohio, in just a little bit. So, K Renee, darling, I have some fun facts. I always said, why would one want to be the president of the United States? What perks come with the job of being president? K Renee, would you want to be president of the United States?
No, I'll be president of my own company. But see, when you're president, you lose, even though there are perks, and I'm sure there are a lot of wonderful perks.
Yes.
The part that you will lose is your anonymity. Say that quick. Say that fast.
Yes.
Because you can't.
That's just like saying Herbert Hoover. Herbert Hoover. Yes.
I will be very clear and say, I'm hoping in my lifetime that I will see not only a woman, but a sister running the White House personally.
Yes.
But it's not going to be me. Okay. I'd rather be a president, which I am, of my own company, my own business, but not president of the United States, because that's a lot to deal with. That's a lot of stress. Really, and see, here's another thing. Before you talk about your perks, look at the president's health. You see that they age so much when they come into office. Every president ages. President Trump is no exception. No. So I've seen photos of him before when he was on The Apprentice, when he was sworn in, and look at him now. And I'm sure, I don't care, he may be have that facade, but I know he is under a lot of stress. And so to be president, you have to have mental, physical, even spiritual acuity on dealing with the world, because you're the free leader. I mean, you're one of the leaders of the free world, I should say. Yeah. So no, to answer your question, all that to say, all right, no, I would not. Okay. But I hope to see a sister in the White House in my lifetime. That's what I would like.
I do too. All right. Well, let me give you guys a few little fun facts before we get off of here. The commander-in-chief flies in style, comfort, and safety. As you guys all know, the commander-in-chief flies on what is called Air Force One. And Air Force One is a Boeing 747-200B series. It has over 4,000 square foot of floor space. It has every sophisticated and modern piece of equipment imaginable on the aircraft. As you guys all know, the president and first lady have their own private quarters on the plane, sleeping quarters, bathtub, shower. They have a private dining room that they use, dressing rooms, all of that on there. Every time the president travels and takes media along with him, he's able to take so many members of the media. They are given their own quad or pod on the plane, much like as if you're flying first class or business class on an international airline, and you have your own little pod you're in. Here's the deal. The galley on the airplane is able to feed up to 100 people at a time.
What?
Oh, absolutely.
Wow.
Absolutely. The galley is able to feed 100, and the meals are freshly prepared. So some may be prepackaged meals, but for the most part, the meals are freshly prepared. Don't forget that the airplane can be refueled mid-air, and it is bomb-proof. It's a lot of things that, would have to really happen to destroy Air Force One. And then the First Lady also has a jet that is where she has to at her disposal when she needs to go someplace, because Air Force One is not what she would take to, let's say, go down to Mar-a-Lago or go to New York, any of that. There are other airplanes that would take the First Lady to wherever she needs to go. And that's the same way with Mrs. Obama and, anybody who was ever Crystal Courtney, who is a flight attendant, and my sister. I'm with her, honey. I would love to be a flight attendant on that plane. And here's the deal. They're not called flight attendants on there. They would be considered pursers, butlers, attendants, but not flight attendants. Right. And most of them are military people who serve in this capacity of the president. That makes sense. But there's even a beauty salon, makeup room on the plane. All of that would be on Air Force One. Absolutely. All right. The next thing.
So what's the cost? What's the cost of this plane?
Oh, sure. So I know you was going to ask, baby. So in order to operate Air Force One for just 1 hour is $200,000. So,
Jesus.
so imagine he's flying to Tokyo, 13, 14 hours. He's flying to Europe, 8, 9 hours. He's flying down to Mar-a-Lago. What is from New York to Florida, 3 hours. So it's $200,000 an hour to run that airplane. So just so you guys know.
Mm.
All right. So now another thing that you oftentimes see is the president in a helicopter. Well,
Right.
that helicopter is called Marine One, and as you
Right.
guys all know, the Air Force One usually lands at Andrews Air Force Base, which is an
Right.
airport off a distance. So the president is needing to get from Air Force One to the White House, and we've seen, Marine One oftentimes land on the grounds of the White House.
Mm-hmm.
Marine One is a super specialized helicopter that goes wherever the president goes. So wherever he goes, this helicopter goes with him as well. It is only 4 pilots are assigned to flying this helicopter.
Mm.
They are all members of the Nighthawk Squadron, and they are bestowed the privilege of flying the president in this super chopper. This chopper flies 150 miles an hour. If one of the engines is to fail, it is still able to do whatever it needs to do. It is armed with anti-missile systems and ballistic armor. So I guess, you ain't gonna be shooting and hitting it either. And when it lands, a Marine must always salute the president. So
Interesting.
whenever that helicopter lands, the Marine must always salute that president when he gets off of that
Interesting.
plane, off of that helicopter. Yes, but only 4 pilots have the privilege of being able to fly the president on that plane. And I guarantee you, I bet you 3 of them are on there at any particular time, because if something was to happen to either of the 2, somebody would be able to fill in and be able to fly that helicopter.
Exactly.
All right.
Exactly.
Let's also talk about the official limousine to the president. It is called the Beast. It is called the Beast, just like me, baby, the Beast. The Beast is the nickname that is given to the presidential limo. President Obama, number 44, described it as a caddy that basically has a tank frame, and he is absolutely right. It usually is made by Cadillac, and here's the deal: it has a fleet of 12 identical bulletproof and bomb-proof vehicles. So a lot of times, at the inauguration, you'll see what looks like an official limo coming. That might be a decoy, or better yet, here in Chicago, you'll be like, man, I saw the presidential limo go by and I didn't see anybody in it. Well, there are 12 of them. They're all bulletproof. They're all bomb-proof. And they are all the luxuries that are needed. Because now, I was told that the president of North Korea, what is his name?
Kim Jong-un. Kim Jong-un.
Yeah, what's his name?
Oh my God. Kim
Yeah.
Jong-un.
He even have it where he can go to bathroom in his vehicles. He don't, and whoever his attendants are to quickly gather his feces, urine, or whatever. He wants no traces of people being able to search his DNA. So even when he travels by train, whether he's in the car, whatever the case may be, his attendants have to pull his waist, keep it, and just like that. But he had right. They have to pull his waist because he don't want people checking and finding out and all of that. So I don't think our president has that kind of, phobia of fear. But yes. All right. Wow. So now let's talk about the White House. Why would one want to be president? The White House, this is going to be interesting. The White House actually had running water put in it in 1833. It actually had central heating put in 1837.
Wow.
It had an elevator put in 1881. The cost to build the White House was $232,277, and that was back in 1790.
Wow.
1790. And this is according to history.com. The White House has 132 rooms. Contrary to popular belief, they are saying there are no secret passages or hidden escape routes. And that's not
Mm-hmm.
really known to the public, but I'm sure there is.
Mm-hmm.
And here's the deal. Inside the White House, you'll find a full floral shop. There's a bowling alley. There's a movie theater. There's a beauty and barber salon within the White House. Any and everything that would be needed is located inside of the White House.
Interesting.
And
Now,
that,
you mentioned about barber. Now, I have to say this about our current president and his taxes that he deducted $70,000 worth of hair grooming.
girl, who knew?
So I
Who
guess he
knew?
won't have to worry about that now that he's in the White House. But beforehand, or maybe he's still having that 70,000 deduction. I don't know. When you said that, that just kind
Yeah.
of that
Yes,
number
I
popped in
heard
my
that
head.
too. That haircuts for him
Mhm.
$70,000 a year
70,000.
for that comb over.
Right.
For that comb over. I'm trying to figure
Mhm.
out right. I feel bad. I pay my barber now. I'm like, dang, I need to elevate my game. $70,000 a
70,000.
year
Yeah.
for somebody to do a comb over. I love it. Okay. All right. So here's another thing. Did you know that once a president leaves the White House, the
Mhm.
president gets post-presidential expenses?
Yes, I did. I was aware of that.
Every president is furnished with enough money to cover their travel and business expenses. Congress presented President Obama legislation that would have capped taxpayers spending no more than $200,000 a year to former presidents. Now, keep in mind, if Obama hadn't put a cap on that, they would be getting far more, but they only get $200,000 a year to cover travel and business expenses, and that's not bad. That's not bad at
No,
all.
it's not.
And that's not on top of the pension they collect.
Right.
Jimmy Carter, George H.W. Bush, Bill Clinton, and George W. Bush all receive an annual pension of $205,700 a year, and that was back in 2016. I don't know if they've had a raise or not, but they all receive a pension like that. So we looking at what, 400 some thousand a year for you to do whatever you need to do as the former president. Baby, that ain't nothing to laugh at. That's pretty decent
And you
money.
and you and President Carter is the oldest now
Right.
living president because now George H.W. has passed on,
That's
so it's
right.
only his son Clinton and Carter and Obama. So Jimmy Carter is 94, I believe. So you think about he's been out of office for over what, almost 30 years.
That's right.
So you bank that salary, you're doing pretty good.
No wonder he out here building houses for the needy. You know what I'm saying? Right, right.
Mhm.
He can because he being well taken care of.
Exactly.
The president also gets a country home when they're in office. Every president since Franklin Roosevelt has enjoyed their own retreat of solitude at Camp David. Camp
Mhm.
David is located deep in the Catchatokin Mountain Park in Frederick County, Maryland. The
Okay.
camp serves as the president's country home. Every amenity is included, including a full gym, a swimming pool, executive board rooms, and even an aircraft hangar for the helicopter or whatever plane that comes in.
Mhm.
And every time a president spends a night at Camp David, guess how much it costs?
Oh well, I would say maybe 100,000. I don't know.
$711,000 a night for a president to stay at Camp David. Now, the one thing I give this new president, he go home and stay in his own stuff. I don't even know if he been to Camp David. Has he been to
He
Camp
has
David?
he has been to Camp
Oh,
David, but
okay.
it's not something that he goes to Mar-a-Lago, when he needs to break. But he's been to Camp David since he's been in office.
And keep in mind, our current president will be the first president in a long time that has not had a dog in the White House. The Trumps do not have a dog.
I'm not gonna say anything. I'm just gonna leave that one, leave it alone.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. All right.
Thank you.
Another fun fact. Another fun fact. The White House is the home to nearly 100 permanent resident staffers.
Wow.
As you know, K Renee, we've seen the stories of gentlemen who have been butlers at the White House.
Yes.
Those people who work at the White House, those are their permanent positions.
Oh,
When
wow.
even when the administration changed, they are a part of the White House. And the 100 people, they are considered a private army of servers. They include maids, cooks, butlers, and head housekeepers. Another thing of people who are also on the payroll is full-time plumbers, valets, groundkeepers, engineers, and florists. So these people are all, on staff at the White House all the time. And so that is a part of it. And did you know, Kay Renee, that as soon as an election is over and the new president is announced, while inauguration is going on,
Right.
and the swearing in and all of that,
The ceremony.
the White House is turned into that new president
Yes.
place of residency.
Yes. Did know that.
Everything from family photos being put out, everything
Mhm.
to walls being painted a different color, fresh
Yep.
new carpeting, any
Mhm.
specifics that the new president coming in would need or want in the White House, that is
Mhm.
all done within 24 hours.
It is.
But
I know that. And that's a rush job like I've never seen.
child, but there you go. They say it's the coldest staff ever that's able to switch, flip, do everything they need to
That's
do
right.
and make it happen. So when the first family arrives at the White House for their first full night of being the new first family, voila, boo boo, everything is set, everything is done, and thank you to those people. All right.
Absolutely.
Let's keep on our list. Top-notch security, as you guys all know, Secret Service. The
Mhm.
Secret Service protects the president, and they will lose their life to make sure the president does not lose their life. Secret Service, they handle everything from threats to counter civilian to airspace security. The Secret Service protection is for life. Their children are protected until the children turn 16. And the budget to do that for the average family in the White House is $2.2 billion a year.
Did you say billion or million?
2.2 billion is what it costs for Secret Service to do what they do for a president.
Wow.
Yes. And
Wow.
then the White House also has an executive chef. The executive chef is there to make sure all meals are prepared, dietary choices, restrictions, whatever it is. And the executive chef at the White House makes $100,000 a year. And actually, a culinary school actually said that's a slightly modest salary. That it really should be more than that.
I agree. I definitely agree.
Okay. And then the next thing on the list, anytime heads of states or other dignitaries visit the United States, the president of the United States put them up at Blair House, which is a 60,600 square foot integrated townhome combo, which includes 120 rooms and it has 18 full-time employees. And so they would all stay at Blair's house. And then last but not least, every president is entitled to a state funeral. State funerals can run anywhere from 7 to 10 days. They are a 3-stage event. A lot of times you'll hear President lied in state in his particular home, then the president lied in state somewhere else, and then they lie in state somewhere else, and they get a honor guard military escort for the immediate family. They get a armed force pallbearers, as we saw for Ginsburg. They get a military flyover. They get a 21 gun salute. And back when Ronald Reagan died in 2004, he was buried in a mahogany casket that cost $14 $15,000. So
Wow.
every president is entitled to that. So that might be, the reason why you want to be the president of the United States. It's still, I'm not sold on any of that. Now, I do want to get on Air Force One. I ain't gonna lie, but because I love flying classy now. But
I know you do.
yeah, I love
I
flying
know
classy.
you do.
I love first class, but I don't know if I'd want the job of president. I just don't. It's
Mm-mm.
a lot. It really is.
It is.
Hmm.
That it is.
All right.
So we're almost at that end, Chad Daddy.
Yes, we are, darling. So do me a favor, reiterate the things that you want everybody to do as pertaining to watching tonight's debate, as well as getting out and getting the vote. I'll put how Illinois people can go and find out information for voting. Go right ahead, K Renee.
As I said, this election is very important. We're going to definitely sign off shortly, but definitely look for the things that you need to know to make your decision. They'll be talking about the economy, talking about COVID. I'm sure they'll be talking about both records of the candidates, in addition to the Supreme Court Justice of the United States, the nominee, as well as the race and violence that's been happening in our country. So just look for those topics in the debate and just really listen with your heart to decide who will be the best candidate that will serve our country well, but also to heal our country. We need healing right now
We
at this
do.
time.
We really do. Thank you, everybody who has enjoyed the show tonight. We're going to sign off in just a little bit. Don't forget, coming up on the Wednesday night edition of the Real Chat Daddy Show, we're going to cover everything that was talked about on the debate tonight, as well as we're going to have a roundtable discussion with Black men about the state of the world in which we live in and how we feel about what is going on. We've had this conversation months ago, and we're going to rehash it again tomorrow night. All right, K Renee, what do you want to say to everybody before we sign off and go and watch this debate?
With my nugget, let's see. My nugget today was, when you examine human behavior and look for patterns and not apologies. So just think about that as you're looking for the debate, and then when you're dealing with people, think about their patterns. Look at that. So
Mm-hmm.
that's my nugget for tonight.
I agree. All right. Well, we love you guys so very much. Thank you for tuning in to this 1 hour special tonight. The Race to the White House 2020. We want all of you guys to go watch the debate with open ears, open eyes. Don't forget, November 3rd is election day. It is very important that you vote. I'm going to go back to bed. Doctor put me on new medicine today, and I'm just like this. I'm so sleepy. I don't know what to do.
You did fine, Chad Daddy.
Thank you, baby. Thank you. I love you so much.
Love
Thanks,
you
K
too.
Renee. We'll see you again. I'll see you guys tomorrow night at 7 p.m. I love you guys so much. I'll see you later, man.